This script helped me close 4 million in annualized premiums. Hey guys, it's Enku with Freedom Code, back at you guys again with another video. And I wanted to talk to you guys today about pretty much how to construct a script on your own. I'll show you some examples of mine, show you how I was able to do it, what I look for, exactly how to go about the tonality of things. And then from there, by the end of this video, hopefully you should not only have this script in the description here for you guys to download, but you should also have the ability to create your own scripts. I know exactly what you're thinking, but I thought, scripts are the devil, or I thought they were it's not something you're supposed to use so that, you sound like a robot. Yes, yes, and yes. I fully agree with a lot of that. However, when you start doing anything new, right? The first thing that they're going to hand you is directions, instructions, a manual, or a script, right? So that you have a guideline or a framework as to exactly why and what you're doing. So the problem that comes from that is that if we're all reading the same script, sounding the exact same, we're all going to get the same results, which some days might be okay, some days might not be okay. If I'm calling you up and saying, "Hey, John, it's Enku, state advisor for Texas. I am a licensed certified advisor, blah, 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 blah," click. They will hang up on you 9 times out of 10. Except if I'm going about it saying, "Hey, John, it's Enku. How are you doing today?" Now, it could be a variety amount of reasons as to why I'm calling, but the first thing that you're prompted to do is to answer back to what I'm saying, which is, "How are you doing?" Okay. So the first thing that you want to lead with is some sort of a friendly tone that allows you to see, no, it's not about being a licensed rep. It's not with, "Hey, it's John with XYZ, da 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 da," because now it keeps you, keeps their guard down and it avoids any objections before you even start. Because if the first thing I'm saying is, "Hey, it's Enku, licensed state advisor for the state of Texas, and I'm a licensed advisor calling about your recent request for health or life insurance," first thing they're going to say is, "I didn't put a request in," or, "What company is that again?" You're opening yourself up to objections that you don't have to address until later in the conversation. One valuable piece of advice that I was told at a very, very young age in my career was the first 30 seconds will make or break your call. If you miss, if you're stuttering, if you don't sound confident, if you're not coming into it attacking that first 30 seconds, you will struggle and you will fail. Right. And so, as far as that's concerned, that's the first thing. Lead with familiarity. Like you're calling a friend, right? Telling him about the score of the baseball game or the basketball game. That is how you're opening up or catching up with a friend, right? That is how you're opening up the script. So you're saying, "Hey, John, it's Enku. How are you doing today?" Right? The next thing that you want to do, short and concise, is you want to let them know exactly why you're calling. So keep it short, tie it back to their action, aka the request, and then ask a very small, easy question that gets them talking. Once they respond here, they'll probably say something like, I'm doing all right," or "Who are you?" or something along those lines. At that point, you can either reiterate it or just say, "I'm also doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm just following up on a request for your health coverage. Were you looking for just yourself, or were you looking for you and the entire family?" Basically, at this point, this is when you're going to get the objections if they're really looking or if they're not looking. If they are looking, but they have objections like, "Oh, I don't have time right now," or, "I don't, can you email me this stuff," or, "I'm not looking anymore because all the people that keep calling me," right? Whatever objections that you would get, this is when you're going to get it. It shouldn't be at the first part. It should be at the second part of when you're actually explaining why you're calling. However, as long as you've been practicing your objections and you know how to go about this, shouldn't be an issue for you at all. So, "Oh, well, I was looking for myself." Okay, now here is the meat and potatoes of your script. So the first thing you want to do is uncover why. Why are they looking, right? This sets the stage for presenting the right solution. Got it. And what had you looking for coverage right now? Did you lose it recently? Are your premiums going up? Are you just shopping for something better? Dig deeper. So each situation, right, whether it's rates going up, whether they lost coverage, no coverage, it has its own angle that you're going to attack. And these clarifying questions help you build the frame and urgency as well as the value as well. Okay, so if premiums went up, what did they increase to? If you lost coverage, when was your last day? And if you don't have coverage at all, when was the last time you did? And who was that through? More specifically, why are you looking now? Why now? Why today? Do you need something covered? Probably not going to be able to do that for you right now in this moment. The discovery phase in this moment is so crucial. I mean, this is what, 95%. I'm probably exaggerating, but follow me here. This is probably what 95% of insurance agents struggle with is they'll go through here, they'll get all this stuff, right? They might dig a little bit here about why they're looking, get that information, and then go all the way into what solutions that they have, right? And then when they go back and the agent, or excuse me, the client does not buy, now the agent looks all confused because, I was telling them everything that we had available. It's not about what you have to offer them. It's, can you solve their problem? If you don't know what their problems are in extensive detail, then how are you going to solve their problem? The first thing you want to do is obviously you want to dig deep. The next thing is the discovery phase. So like I said, this is the meat and potatoes. This is the most important thing of any script that you'll do when it comes to selling health insurance or setting appointments, is spend 5 to 10 minutes here. This is where most agents fail because they rush. The discovery creates the buy-in, it builds the trust and services the real decision drivers. And so almost like how if I go into a doctor's office, right? I go in and I am sick with whatever, and the doctor's sitting here and he's like, okay, so what's wrong with you? And you start telling him, you're like, well, I have this wrong with me, I have this wrong with me, I have this, and then he just cuts you off and says, okay, so here's what we could do. You're gonna go to a different doctor. But if someone's sitting there and the doctor's actually sitting there and he's almost taking notes on everything that you're saying, okay, so why are you looking for coverage? Who needs to be covered? When do you need it to start? What kind of budget are you working with? Are there any medical conditions or medications I should be aware of? You're pretty much check, boom, 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 boom. You're checking off all the boxes of what their entire situation would be just by asking these questions and shutting up and listening. Right? Because I promise you at this point, the more you can get them to talk in this stage, the more that they will trust you. And then whatever options you have available to them, they're going to be more bought into that because it almost feels like you're solving a pain point for them. Now, once you've done that, spent 5 to 10 minutes, now this is where you want to transition into the solution. So keep it simple, visual, don't overcomplicate things. Show them their 2 clear paths so they feel guided, not sold. And so at this point you go, okay, so basically based off, and this is for health insurance, but based off what you told me, you have 2 routes. This is the public marketplace, which is not income based, and it's also you can get subsidies, and you can have to meet your deductible, or you can go the private route, which is going to be more medically underwritten coverage. Let me kind of walk you through what that looks like. Now, at this point, they might have another objection for you, so it's I can't do that right now, or maybe they need their wife present, or whatever the objection that they would have at that time be. Obviously, acknowledge to yourself that they've already invested 5 to 10 minutes to stay on the phone with you, which is the hardest part. And this gives you the leverage to either be like, look, man, it's only going to be another 5 minutes before we can go this, and you can, pick a plan that you like and lock something down, or book a solid follow-up call if the wife has to be present or the husband has to be present because he's the breadwinner or she's the breadwinner, but do it within 48 hours. To me, if you're booking appointments 2 weeks out, they're low probability, I don't care who you ask, that they're going to pick up the phone ready to buy. It happens, yes, but it's much less probability once it's outside of the 48 hours. And so you can leave with something like, okay, if now isn't a good time, no problem. This really only takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and you've already shared the most important details with me. We can wrap this up quickly now, or we can set up a time in the next day or two. So I would almost even structure this to where you end it here, wait to see what the response is, and then if they do have another objection after that, just say, okay, we can set up a time next day or two. Look at their schedule, look at your schedule, aligns. I got 3 options available: 6, 7, and 8:30 Eastern Standard Time PM. Which one works best for you? And kind of block it in that way. And then at the end, just be short, precise, and focused on what they told you mattered. Don't overwhelm them with features. Connect the benefits directly to their situation. So you are the problem solver based off whatever their problems are, right? Whatever they tell you, you have a solution for them if they qualify. So if you're good to continue, here are the best options for you. This plan covers, your drug benefits, and this one also covers your low deductible needs that you mentioned that you needed. Based off your situation and budget, these will put you in the best possible position for coverage. So now it almost looks like guaranteed you're not only solving their plans, but you're professional when doing it. There's no other reason as to why they should go elsewhere for their health coverage, unless it's purely just off of price, which if they're price shopping, they're normally not the best clients to begin with anyway. And so I would move on from that type of client. But I hope this helps, guys. I mean, this is a pretty straightforward script. This is what helped me write over $4 million in annualized premium. This is what helped my team write over $35 million in volume. And I'm going to share this document with you guys. I mean, even if you plug this into an AI and say, hey, create a script based off of whatever script you guys have, should be able to do that for you. But if you guys like videos like this, again, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I will be dropping more value-driven advice like this for you guys again. But until next time, you guys enjoy the rest of your day.